Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. In 2001, we introduced the first iPod. Well, today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone.
Hi, my name is Surprenant. I'm a student here at Nashua High School South, and today we're going to be talking about the cell phone policy. What's good, what's bad, how can it work, and how it doesn't. We're going to be interviewing people and discussing a little bit what their public opinion is and how they think it could be better. So, let's go.
Here we have Mr. Richards, the principal of Nashua High School South. Here he expresses a concern with how addictive a cell phone can be to a student and how it's becoming more of a distraction.
Tell us your name.
Yeah, Mr. Richard, principal of Nashua High School South.
Awesome. All right. So what is your general opinion of the cell phone policy in school?
Yeah, so right now, it's teacher discretion. I have a lot of students to use them. I know I've heard from some teachers that they feel like it's an extra arm of the students, that some students just can't live without them, and sometimes they can be a distraction in class, while other teachers have said they've found pretty good ways to use the cell phone, and they found ways to deter students from using them in their class. So I know that it's hit or miss, depends on who you speak to in the classrooms.
He tells us a little bit about how he thinks the policy has actually gotten to the point where it seems like students need to be trained to use their cell phones appropriately.
Is there any concern right now with them as far as like the teachers?
I think there's some teachers that have have mentioned that it seems like kids are definitely using them more and more. To text for non-class related, social media, texting friends, and that is not the purpose maybe while they're in the classroom to be using a cell phone when the focus should be on what the content is and what they should be learning. So in that way, kids should not be using their cell phone. I know other teachers that the smartphones have really changed. We've really gone from a cell phone to almost like a mini computer with the abilities of what these phones can do. I know I have mine in my pocket. I use it for email all the time. I'm walking the halls, my calendar attached to it. I use it quite frequently during the day, but I tend to feel like I'm using it for educational purposes or to control my day while I'm in school, not to go on to social media and things like that or texting my friends. We are a school, and I think it's one thing to know that they're not going away as well, and it's something that I think kids need to learn how to use them appropriately and in the right settings. And I think, because when you get into the job force, if someone's having a meeting, we don't want our students walking, just having their cell phone on, and, their boss walking by and sees them on Facebook or something like that,
Now Mr. Audley, the current assistant principal of the school and former teacher. He's a pro cell phone use advocate, having provided cell phones to his class as a way to practice responsible use of cell phones inside the classroom. In our interview, he expresses his opinion on the current cell phone policy.
So I think an all or nothing policy is saying, yep, every kid can use them whenever they want, or nope, never use them at all, put them away when you walk in the front door. I think it's a little, it might be easy to do that, but I think it would be hard to really develop better understandings on how to use technology. So I think giving teachers leeway is an important step in trying to figure out how best to deal with cell phones.
How do you think we can use cell phones productively rather than,
for good as opposed to evil?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways, a lot of apps that we have at our disposal that can be used to, for like formatives. I used to use them in my class a lot for comprehension checks. So there's an app called Socrative, use that with students. I can send out a question, they can answer it, and I can look on my iPad and see all the answers the students are giving. That's a really quick way to see if kids understand what's going on. And then I also have the ability to push out those answers to students so they could maybe get information from another student. That's a real positive way to use cell phones in the classroom. Research. Come down to a library with a class of 30 kids and you only have 6 computers. Not a lot of kids can do research. So now if I have every student in my class that's on a device or buddied up and 2 kids are on a device and they can get research done in the classroom, that's a huge benefit. And it's not costing the district a penny because it's not using Wi-Fi space, it's not using, we don't have to keep the technology up on our own computers. So I think that's sort of a really valuable resource for us.
Here's Olivia Trader, a student at the school. She tells us about the problem she's seen and her own opinion on how students react to the policy.
Okay. My name is Olivia Trader. And do I look at the camera? I think if people are going to use cell phones in the classroom, like they're taking their own time out of their own day, like to not get their schoolwork done, if they're devoted and they want to get their stuff done, like you can tell a student like time and time again, like put your cell phone away, like they're not really going to listen to you because people do it all the time. And if they're going to do what they want to do and they want to slack off and not do well in school, then it's like kind of their own fault. Like it's like we can enforce it as much as we want to, but like it's their decision at the end of the day what they want to do with their like schoolwork and how they like use their time wisely in class. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
All right, I think you can kind of get the clear image of student and staff's opinion about cell phone use in the school. Thanks for joining us. See you.